Top 10 longest criminal arrests ever. Many criminal trials have been sensational to people throughout the years. And here is a list of the 10 most exciting arrests that have taken the media by storm in the last 2 decades. Number 10. Bernie Madoff's arrest and conviction, 2008, 2009. Speculation Goliath turned fraudster Bernie Madoff, 79, is carrying out a 150-year life punishment for ripping off thousands in what's currently known as the greatest instance of venture misrepresentation in U.S. history. His children handed him over to government experts in late 2008, uncovering the multi-billion-dollar Ponzi plot. From VIPs to regular individuals, he cheated his clients of almost $20 billion bucks on fundamental-level ventures. Legal administrators have been attempting to repay billions to his casualties. Concerning the Madoff family, Bernie purportedly has had medical issues while in jail. His 2 children have passed on since his capture, one from self-destruction, the other from disease. Number 9. Elizabeth Brilliant's hijacking, 2002, 2003. At the point when news broke of Elizabeth Brilliant's hijacking, it seemed like a scene from a tense film, a 14-year-old young lady taken from her room around midnight. However, it was very much genuine for the Shrewd family, as they frantically looked for the young lady close to Salt Lake City. For a considerable length of time, Shrewd was held hostage by Brian David Mitchell and his better half, Wanda Barzee, until somebody called with a potential locating of her. Brilliant was found only miles from her home. Despite the torment she endured, she proceeded to be a refined creator and youngster extremist. Number 8. Laci Peterson's disappearance and murder, 2002. 4 months after the pregnant 26-year-old Laci Peterson disappeared on Christmas Eve 2002, her body and the hatchling of her unborn kid washed shorewards on a part of the San Francisco Narrows coastline. Soon after Peterson vanished, doubts started to mount against her better half, Scott. He was uncovered for having an unsanctioned romance with a back rub specialist. However, he said Laci knew and was alright with it. Scott was accused of killing Laci and her unborn child days after their bodies were found. Notwithstanding his legal counselor's hypothesis that a sinister religion had hijacked and killed Laci, Scott was indicted and is presently waiting for capital punishment. Number 7. Murder of Gianni Versace, 1997. Italian style planner and organizer behind the Versace domain, Gianni Versace was killed external the entry of his Miami Oceanside house in 1997. The shooter, Andrew Cunanan, had been on a cross-country killing binge. The widely acclaimed creator was his last casualty. Cunanan, 27, committed suicide 8 days after killing Versace. Some have estimated that Cunanan killed Versace, 50, to acquire overall consideration. Among the people who went to Versace's Remembrance Administration to offer their appreciation was England's Princess Diana, a simple month before her lamentable demise. Number 6. JonBenet Ramsey's killing, 1996. A kid stunner shows Sovereign killed after she headed to sleep on Christmas night. The instance of JonBenet Ramsey has never been settled. At first, the Ramseys thought somebody captured their 6-year-old girl as she rested. Her mom, the Patsy, said she found a payoff note requesting $118,000 for JonBenet's profit from the morning of Dec. 26, 1996. In any case, sometime thereafter her dad, John, found her body in the cellar of their Rock, Colorado, home. She had been choked and experienced a blow that had cracked her skull. For over 10 years, her folks were under doubt for the demise and youngster misuse, even though examination of DNA found at the scene was still up in the air to be from an obscure male. In 2008, the head prosecutor apologized and cleared the Ramsey family. The statement of regret came past the point of no return for Patsy, who kicked the bucket in 2006 from ovarian malignant growth at age 49. Right up to the present day, nobody has been accused of JonBenet's homicide. John Imprint Carr was captured 10 years after the fact in Thailand. However, it worked out that he had dishonestly admitted. Number 5. O.J. Simpson's arrest and trial, 1994-1995. Perhaps the most watched preliminary ever on TV was that of previous NFL player O.J. Simpson. For quite some time, watchers paid attention to their declaration attempting to interface him to the homicides of his ex, Nicole Earthy-Colored Simpson, 34, and her companion, Ron Goldman, 26. The two casualties were cut to death beyond Earthy-Colored Simpson's apartment suite in 1994, while the Simpsons' small kids rested in their rooms. Police quickly started addressing Simpson, in the long run requesting that he give up. All things considered, he got into his white Passage Mustang and drove police on a 2-hour broadcast pursuit. The preliminary of the 100 years was remarkable for its many exciting bends in the road, from eruptions between the appointed authority and an examiner to infighting among Simpson's numerous lawyers. Yet the most emotional second came when O.J. Simpson battled to put on a glove found at the crime location. His lawyer Johnny Cochran told the jury, "If it doesn't fit, you should absolve." On October 3, 1995, 150 million Americans checked out and become familiar with the jury's choice. We the jury tracked down the respondent, Orenthal James Simpson, not at fault for the wrongdoing of homicide. After 13 years, Simpson wound up in jail for an alternate wrongdoing, a burglary case in Las Vegas. He was secured for a long time until an adjudicator conceded his parole in 2017. Number 4. The Menendez Brothers, 1989. Did they kill their well-off guardians for their cash, or were Lyle and Eric Menendez headed to kill in a view that could only be described as epic of misuse? The two speculations worked out in courts 2 times because the jury in their most memorable preliminary was halted. The siblings, presently in their late 40s, yet 21 and 18 at the hour of the homicides, killed their folks with shotguns in their Beverly Slopes house. Jose was shot point, clear toward the rear of the head, and Kitty was shot multiple times. From the beginning, the siblings were not captured, as they told police it was reasonably a mafia hit or a terrible agreement. However, in the weeks that followed, doubts mounted as the siblings started burning through cash from their folks' $14 million home. 7 months after the homicides, the two siblings were captured, and in the end, sentenced in 1995. Notwithstanding being condemned to live in jail, the two siblings got hitched while in prison and keep in touch. Number 3. Jeffrey Dahmer's Path of Terror, 1978-1991. Chronic executioner Jeffrey Dahmer deceived 17 men and young men over 13 years, starting in 1978. He tormented and dismantled his casualties, frequently keeping their body parts, and in some cases eating them, in his Milwaukee home. Dahmer was at last gotten after a man he had bound in his condo figured out how to get away. The examination uncovered that Dahmer, a chocolate assembly line laborer, had been tricking men he met at bars into his home, where he would medication and murder them. He was condemned to 15 life terms for the killings. Yet, after pretty much 2 years in jail, the 34-year-old was pounded into the ground during a work detail in 1994. Number 2. Ted Bundy's Rampage, 1974-1978. Chronic executioner, ruffian, attacker, and jail escapee Ted Bundy misled people for a long time in the mid to late 1970s. Preceding his execution in 1989, he owned up to somewhere around 30 homicides, yet examiners accept there were some more. The killings began in the Northwest several years after Bundy moved on from the College of Washington with a degree in brain research. The casualties frequently looked like his school darling, a separation that destroyed him. The mass killer went to jail in 1976, yet got away from 2 times, killing a few additional ladies en route. He was at long last gotten on February 15, 1978. Number 1. Charles Manson Murders, 1969. In August 1969, the Manson family religious killings in Los Angeles dazed the country. The most famous was the fierce homicides of pregnant entertainer Sharon Tate and 4 others at her Benedict Gulch home. The religion's chief, Charles Manson, was condemned to a few life terms and passed on in 2017 at 83. A few of his supporters are as yet carrying out life punishments in jail for those 5 homicides, as well as 4 extra killings. One reason Manson gave for the killings alluded to the Beatles' tune Higgledy Piggledy, which he unfairly deciphered as a require a vicious race war. How was the video? Did you enjoy it? Post your feedback in our comments section below and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updates.